I think Spy, for me, is a dysfunctional family sitcom.
I think the show is very warm, very funny.
It's dark, it's light, it's family.
It's a story about friendship within the groups of MI5.
It's very fast, it's very pacey.
The show is about relationships. It's not about gadgets and spying and spycraft.
Lovable characters, flawed characters.
It's a world which I don't want to live in, but I love visiting for half an hour a week.
Yeah.
So here you are in MI5. Come with me. This is a wall. We hide behind this. This is the crew. They're very busy working, so we won't disturb them. It is in this spot that Tim finds Caitlin crying over the bread maker. This is the examiner's office. As you can see, alcohol, weaponry, books. They're all Robert's from home. And I usually sit here. Like this, looking intelligent, which is a struggle for me. These are where we keep the Jaffa cakes for emergencies. And we've not had any emergencies, so they're unopened. This is the crash mat. If anyone wants to crash, they just crash into this.
From the beginning of Spy's development, the debate was, what can we show in a family sitcom which is appropriate because it's dealing with the world of lies and cheats and, you know, potential violence. And I think this came to a head in the last episode where we see Marcus being kidnapped.
I take it this is your first kidnapping?
Why do you say that?
An abandoned warehouse? Seriously?
But because the tone is correctly addressed, and because Marcus, the child, is the most powerful person in the show psychologically, that actually you kind of get away with it.
So what we're doing today is we're doing a kidnap scene where Marcus, the young boy, is being kidnapped by the ex-CIA agent and is being hidden in a large warehouse. And his father comes to try and save him by using slightly unorthodox methods, which is typical of Spy. To begin with, we're starting out here with the car arrivals, and they're sneaking up. Through the door, we'll see Portis, and then Tim will turn up, and there'll be a final showdown.
And action.
What did you say? In that case, you'll never see Marcus again!
That's the phone he's just stamped on.
Still working.
Yep. It's absolutely... He actually dialed the number when he was stamping on it, yeah. So it's pretty hardcore, this phone.
I think the good thing about this scene as well is that although Marcus dominates it, there's still a little moment where Portis says to Marcus that your father doesn't love you, and that actually upsets him for the first time. So you see a little moment of Marcus as a real boy. Which kind of shows,
because over the whole series, Marcus has kind of developed a little more into kind of a more likeable, a nicer person.
Yeah, and they have a closer relationship and need each other.
And action.
Man, Tim wasn't fooling. You really are a horrible kid.
He said that. There's a bit more emotion to him and a bit more acting involved, rather than just sitting there being annoying and horrible to everyone.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to.
Thank you.
I just wanted you to sit there and be nasty to people.
I know, I'm just really
You're going to insist on doing
all
all this acting. Jesus Christ.
Yo, it's not okay! He took something away from me, and now I'm gonna take something away from him. Now sit down!
There's some very cool lines that I get to do. There's a very awesome Good Will Hunting reference in there, which is, it's not your fault. What, man? No, not you. It's not your fault. What are you talking about? I know it's not my fault. No, it's not your fault. It's okay. Let it all out.
I loved her, and he took her away.
Marcus is under no threat at all. He can cope with being kidnapped. In fact, the kidnapper begins to regret the fact he ever kidnapped the bloody kid in the first place.
I don't know how you put up with him. He is pure evil.
You can be challenging.
Challenging? I've known Mossad interrogators easier to get along with.
Well, what can I say?
Those things don't matter when you love someone. Eh?
Even though Marcus is really mean to Tim a lot of the time, and Tim can't be the stand-up father he wants to be on the outside because family circumstances won't allow it. Inside, I know that he is that sort of embodiment of unconditional love and the sort of, you know, his ambitions to be that sort of father and family member are as true as they've ever been.
Hey, Marcus, you know how me and your dad know each other?
Didn't you work in the civil service together?
Sort of. Actually, I don't think that Pontus had any idea what Marcus was going to be like. And I think it just drives him mad. I think at the end of it, he just is relieved that someone comes and takes this boy off his hands because he couldn't take any more of being here in this warehouse alone with him.
It's one of several climaxes to the last episode of the series, which is an hour-long special rather than a normal half-hour version. So in that one, although generally we play all the comedy very fast and very tight, as you know, they've shot this in a much more filmic way, and we're hopefully finding time to allow it to breathe in that way. It's funny, it's quite funny, isn't it? Poor on Terrence.
No, it isn't. What do you mean? You're too
Do you think
late.
it's funny, a whole thing like that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I'm sorry.
What happens next? I haven't read the script.
That's what we... Someone's phone is going off.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. There you go. That's behind the scenes. It wasn't my phone, by the way. I don't bring my phone to the set.
He's a joy to play because he's sort of he's the sort of eternal optimist, and he's sort of childlike, but he's always coming from a place of sort of goodness and good intent, and that's a really nice positive trait to have and certainly to play.
The turbot is roasting on a low heat. It needs to be served with the braised celery and the artichoke jus.
Right, now, under no circumstances are you to come back to the house.
All right, but if you burn the fennel and cider emulsion, I will personally hunt you down and kill you.
Fair enough.
That'll be Mia.
All right, go.
Good luck.
You too. I love you.
Don't ruin it.
Sorry.
I've tried to give Tim some victories along the way so that we root for him, and importantly, you know, the way Darren plays it is that we don't want Tim to ever look too crushed by his circumstances. So if Marcus is being horrible to him, we don't want that to be an awkward thing for us to watch.
Whilst he's still surrounded by these similar people and circumstances, and his world is still very, very different than it was a short time ago with this now being an agent, which is that he's quite comfortable in his own shoes. He's able to sort of accept and enjoy the world he's living in rather than be thrown by it.
Do you have any idea what it's like to be around an obnoxious, pedantic know-it-all?
Must be annoying.
It is, I can tell you. If only he could be taught a lesson. Just once.
Maybe we can help each other out.
The relationship between Darren and Jude offset is really adorable, actually. I'm not sure if they're quite aware of it, but you know, there is that sort of physical similarity that you do believe that he could actually be his son.
You could fit about 3 Judes into Darren. If you stood 3 Judes on top of each other, you'd be about Darren's height.
Marcus is initially he was smaller than the others.
He and Darren have quite a playful, kind of bantery relationship off camera, which is nice because it plays into what they do in front of the camera.
I think we have quite a good relationship, me and Darren. It's very funny. We have some funny conversations. I'm not going to go into detail.
At any given moment when the camera isn't rolling, this is my experience of Jude. You be me, I'll be Jude. Darren. That's all he wants to do. Anytime the camera isn't rolling, he wants to kill you, maim you, disembowel you in mime with his own sound effects. That's it. And let me tell you, after 12 weeks, doesn't get old. You have Robert Lindsay, who is the whole package, isn't he? He sings, he dances, he acts, he sort of, he's done incredible stuff, so why wouldn't you have him singing and dancing if you can?
MI5 and the Examiner move into the school. We take over the headmaster's office, and we are now searching for Portis and the young boy. But the school gets suspicious of why these weird men in black suits are all hanging around in the headmaster's study, and I tell them that we're all travelling entertainers. And we all end up doing a Christmas rendition on the school stage. Hence my little bit of Chicago, which I'm rather proud of.
How can they see with sequins in their eyes?
There are no sort of boundaries really for a character like that. Once you've established that he's sort of unhinged in a way, and he's not quite as rooted in reality as he might be, particularly considering the position he holds, you can just take him anywhere. You can go anything. Why can't he suddenly be sort of tap dancing at a school concert?
Even the old razzle-dazzle, if I tried.
Their own personality into the character, because the writer starts realising what you can and can't do. And so I've noticed this series, Darren and I have a little bit more physical comedy. In a couple of episodes, you'll notice Darren gets to sing, because he's a trained opera singer. I get to sing and dance, because I've done a lot of musicals. Obviously, Simeon didn't know we did all these things, and now he started putting them together.
Put showbiz makeup on.
Yeah. Is that enough? I've noticed my role in The Examiner as a very teenage kind of popularity. They like him, because he's kind of out there, a bit odd. And you think to yourself, well, maybe there are people running our security services a little bit like him, gung-ho.
That was truly inspirational.
Yeah, hey, great show, everyone. Great show.
It's for you.
It's probably Broadway.
They let me sort of lose the side parting for a second and sort of play electric guitar for a minute, which was a bit of a relief, because this isn't how I would normally have my hair.
And action.
Hello, St. Benjamins. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the original draft of the script described it as floppy haired hipster, which I'm pretty sure was a tilt to me in real life. So that's one of the things, with Simeon writing for me in real life. I always sort of semi-ironically refer to myself as a hipster. So I think that kind of went in as a sort of, basically as a sort of, okay, Ed, fine, we can see you in real life for once.
Oh, you put Duncan from Blue. I did. Guess he's not coming.
What are you going to do?
On the day that he was meant to record the rap that he'd been given and had learned, they discovered that the song wasn't cleared, and so there were sort of legal issues with using this particular piece of music. And I think he was on the morning he was given a fresh piece of music that was just library clearance, this sort of generic piece of music, and sort of some lyrics that he then had to sort of part write himself, and learn it very quickly and go on and perform it.
That's my music, like 90s hip-hop. NWA, Tupac, Biggie Smalls, and LL Cool J.
Well, I'm sorry, you gotta be cruel. If a fool don't know what it takes to rule at this game, no time to explain. It's my brain, it's insane, it's like a lyrical Jew. If you can't keep up with me, you should have stayed in infant school.
When you get it right, it's fun, but when you don't, it's really not.
You must be crazy not to think that I own this. I guess you guys are loco in loco parentis.
It took us quite a long time, but I think it was worth it. I think we got some good footage between yesterday and today. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased.
everything's run very, very smoothly. I've got nothing to complain about at all. Apart from, early on in the shoot, I sat down in a car that's always kept very, very pristinely by John, the driver, and I sat on something and I sort of moved around and had a bogey in my hand, which I wasn't expecting or didn't really enjoy.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's been no bogies left anywhere. I dispose of them in my own manner, not on the seats, out the window.
That's a shocker. And if I had to guess, although I didn't hear, I would say hands down that Mr. Wright got your number.
I deny the allegations against me. There's been no bogies left on any seats.
It's so lovely to be in this love triangle with two of the most delicious actors you could be in a triangle with. Terence Maynard is frankly hot. Darren Boyd is also hot. It's not hard. It's not hard to kind of do the love face.
Who would you prefer in...
Oh, don't be naughty. There's absolutely no way I'm going to tell you that. If I had to choose, I would choose both. But that's wrong, isn't it? The children at home can't find that out. The Christmas special is exciting for Caitlin and Tim. We've had the kiss, which we've all wanted to see. And we now know that they really do have feelings for each other. But when Portis finds out, his reaction is unexpected. And we also have the director who's joined forces with Portis. This is not good for Caitlin. Is there anybody there? I am armed.
So am I.
I'm about to sit in a chair and wear these ropes. And this is just because Hendo's been quite upset with me because I'm not very good at being still, am I?
The worst thing is you won't have hit her marks, you see, so I've now decided the best way to do is tie her down.
It's nice actually to put Caitlin in a bit of trouble and jeopardy and see how Tim responds.
Yes, because Caitlin is very, very capable usually.
And we've been working on Rebecca's gun work and she now looks lethal.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah. I'd talk to you, but I'm a bit tied up.
You ready and action.
Yeah. If I shoot Caitlin, you get to shoot her, and no, we're not. If I get to shoot Caitlin, then she'll have nothing to bargain with, and never. No. If I shoot Caitlin, she's nothing to bargain.
This is the examiner's mentality: is that he's come to protect Caitlin, who's being held at gunpoint by Lindsay Duncan, and my solution is to point my gun at Caitlin and shoot her because, as I say to the director, if I shoot her, you won't have anyone to kill. So his logic is, it defies logic, really. But that's what I love about him.
Oh, come on, it's a good plan. I killed Caitlin and you kill her and everybody's happy.
No, they're not.
Point the gun away from her.
No.
Point the gun away from Caitlin.
No.
I'm warning you. You shoot Caitlin and I will shoot you.
Isn't someone supposed to be shooting me?
Keep out of this. Put the gun down, Tim.
No!
Simeon has referenced very cleverly sort of these little sort of movie moments. Whether or not this moment is our sort of Reservoir Dogs moment, I don't know whether that's intentional, but it definitely sort of ends up in a sort of there's a lot of guns drawn and sort of pointed at each other.
It's going to be a painful episode for me. That's all I can say. I end the episode on a stretcher and in hospital. But I have got my man, so I guess that's good. Yeah, I know, I'm going to have to jump. Three. Yay!
If you and Tim get together, you have to quite quickly flip off it and ruin that.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not interesting. If you were just a happy couple living in your rather nice house in Kingston, then that would become boring, I think, quite quickly. I'm not sure what we would do with that story. We have to keep breaking you up, I'm afraid.
Don't tell them that. He's going to put us back together.
I might put them back together.
Please put us back together.
And then break them.
Please put us back together. Please put us back together. I'm sexy glue. Put me back together.
But the advantage of sexy glue is you can smear that on any old fella.
I've actually written my own alternate ending, and I'm going to go and tell Simeon, but I haven't told him yet, so I'll just tell you. Okay, what happens is, we're in the warehouse, and Tim arrives to save Marcus, and Marcus gets up and runs to Tim, but Portis in shock, whips his gun out and blows Marcus away. Tim, in anger, then pulls out his gun, loads it, and then blows Portis down. But Matt, who plays Chris, comes in behind him. The stray bullets from Portis actually hit him and kill him. And Portis is like, ugh. And then Tim loads his gun and puts it in his mouth and attempts to kill himself, but it comes out of his cheek and doesn't kill him. The examiner shows up, takes his revolver out and blows him down. Then Judith arrives, grabs a metal pole and bashes Tim's skull in. Okay, then Duncan from Blue, for no particular reason, shows up with a blade, slashes the examiner's throat, leaves him dead on the floor, and then all the boys from Blue jump in and they start singing on the dead bodies. I'm off to tell Simeon.